morning, everyone. My name is Betty, and the title of my paper is Game Within Game, Agathe Christie's Deadman's Folly. And in this paper, I want to argue that detective fiction is a genre very suitable for adaptation into a dramatic, interactive game. And in Agatha Christie's novel, there is a juxtaposition of the murder game and a real murder. Of course, I have to say before entering my main point that detective fiction has many subgenres and styles, and I here limit my research object only to the classical whodunit at the golden age. And about Agatha Christie's novel, Deadman's Folly. It is a story which is about a well-known detective novelist, Mrs. Oliver, who is invited by a rich family to write and design a murder hunt, which is very like a murder mystery game. But only the traditional murder game takes place indoors, but this murder hunt takes place outdoors. But soon, Mr. Oliver is aware that something went wrong because Mrs. Oliver received several requests to modify her plan. And during the murder hunt, there is really a murder happened. And the detective Poirot investigates this crime. And what I found interesting about this novel is its very metafictional tone that a real murder really happens in a murder simulation. So what is real and what is unreal? And next I will use some critics including Cavalti, Van Dine, and John Dixon Carr's theory that the detective genre actually poses an intellectual game. A very famous detective novelist, John Dixon Carr, once compares detective fiction as the grandest game in the world. Why is detective fiction like a game? First, Van Dine, also another famous detective novelist, in his article 20 Rules for Writing Detective Stories, set rules for how a detective novel should be written. One thing very important for a detective novelist is that he or she must provide all the clues, and thus readers can participate in this intellectual game to compete with the author and to solve the crime. Therefore, detective fiction shares some very important features with gaming. First, the purpose of both is to have entertainment. That's why readers do not feel terrified or horrified or sad for the deaths happened in the novel, because what matters is to find out who the criminal is. Second, just like Van Dine says, there are rules for detective fiction just like games. The setting is closed, and characters are limited. Clues should be totally open to readers. And finally, detective fiction invites readers to participate. Readers are required to interact with the text. And that is why a form of game, murder mystery game, derives from detective fiction. In conclusion, by using Agatha Christie's novel as an example, I identified gaming elements in detective fiction and argued the connection between detective fiction and games. Thank you for listening.